And I should have been dead, man. I should have been dead. But I was driving on the interstate and had to swerve and miss something. The next thing I know, man, I'm going end over end. I thought I was dead for a minute. And from that point on, I said, man, I got to be on a mission. This was before, of course, this was way before I started creating content and all that, man. I said, I got to be on a mission, man. And so I started making a transition in my life at that point, man. But you know what I did? I said, let me assess my life and see if I'm everywhere I need to be, because I need to find peace. Peace ain't hard to find, but we tend to get in our own way and present ourselves from finding peace. Let me tell you two things you need, two things you must have in order for you to find peace. These two things result in cleaning up the things you need to clean out of your life that'll hold you back. You need forgiveness and you need appreciation. Before you could do anything, before you could find your purpose, before you could have discipline, before you could have understanding, before you have knowledge of self, you need to move these two things out of your way. Lack of forgiveness and lack of appreciation. See, when I was doing them flips in that car, man, I knew I was about to die. In my mind, I had accepted the fact that I was about to die. I was just waiting to die at any time. I'm flipping and I'm like, okay, here we go. Okay, death, where are you? All right, this is the third flip. Oh, we're going to one more. This has got to be the one. Come on, death, where are you? And then when the truck settled down, resting on the roof, death didn't hurt so bad after all. But once I got out of there, you know what I developed? An appreciation, a simple appreciation for the fact that I woke up and I wasn't dead. Like waking up every morning and you ain't dead. If you can't appreciate that every morning, I'm talking about that should never slip your mind. You should never wake up and go throughout your day and forget that you didn't wake up dead. People wake up and pray in the morning by routine. Oh, I just wake up and I pray every morning. Then I work out every morning. Then I have my shake every morning. Then I meditate every morning. No, this isn't about routine. This is about you remembering that you have life today. That's how you get your focus. Because when you remember you have life today, you also remember that you may not have life tomorrow. So you better make the best of today. That's how you get knowledge of self. Knowledge of self is that, man, I can't even control whether I live or die. I can't waste no time. I don't need to be wasting no time because I don't know how much time I got left. I'm just a fickle human being. Physically, we are the weakest creatures on the planet. The only way we're able to dominate is because the really fierce creatures are spread out really far and need to eat things that aren't us, or they're really, really small. Imagine if fire ants were the size of dogs. The world would be childless. They'd be picking off our children and taking them to a colony, man, just to have something to eat on. Some of us too. Imagine the mosquitoes were the size of rats. You know how much blood a mosquito would suck out of you? Boy, they'd be vampires. Like physically, we are the most fickle because we are the least resilient physically. Physically, we're not resilient. Mentally and emotionally, yes. Physically, we're not. We can't really adapt to much. Like there's just not much we can do physically. That's why we're so inclined to make ourselves look better and look stronger and look fitter and look this, because we know that it's just a look for us. You look at a gorilla like he'll beat the brakes off for you. Guess what? He will. A chimpanzee look like he'll beat the brakes off for you. Guess what? It will. A shark looks like it'll bite a big chunk out of you, enough of a chunk, man, to leave you dead. Guess what? It will. An anaconda looks like it'll wrap around you and swallow you whole. Guess what? If it's big enough, it will. See, when we look at animals, we know what they can do. We know a yellow jacket. The yellow jacket is small, but boy, we know if enough of them get on you and sting you, boy, them things, they'll light you up. We know that. We don't have to guess it. There are no yellow jackets that can't sting like the rest of them. There are no rattlesnakes that can't bite and inject venom like the rest of them. There are no sharks that can't bite chunks of flesh out of you like the rest of them. But there are some human beings who aren't as strong as they look physically, and there are some human beings who are stronger than they look physically, and there are some human beings who don't look as good as you think they look physically, and there are some human beings who look better than you think they look physically. Physicality is not our domain. Spirituality is our domain. And forgiveness and appreciation is how you realize who you are. Forgiveness is about, if you don't learn forgiveness, you will always have a grudge against somebody. You can't grow as a man if you've got a grudge against somebody. You can't grow as a man if you've got a grudge against a woman, against a man. You can't grow as a woman if you have a grudge against a man. That's why if you meet a woman and she's been in a relationship and she's still angry with a man from her past, you must flee. You cannot develop anything positive with her because she has not mastered the art of forgiveness. And more than forgiving other people, you got to forgive yourself. All the mistakes you made. Okay, you missed opportunities because you chose to do something else. Okay, you missed opportunities because you were stuck on stupid. Okay, you missed opportunities because you were lazy. Okay, you went left when you should have went right, ended up doing some time. Okay, you ended up getting shot. Okay, you ended up, letting yourself go, gaining weight. Okay, all of those things, you have to forgive yourself for those things. You can't embrace the type of love you need to have for yourself if at first you don't forgive yourself for all of the things that you think you've done wrong to either harm yourself or be a detriment to your own development as a human being. Now let's get into it. There are some things that you must be prepared to change immediately in order to give yourself a chance to find peace. Most of us grow up in environments that aren't peaceful, but we stay in those environments even when we don't have to. You know how many people stay in the hood even when they don't have to? You know how many people get to a point where they never have to see the hood again and they choose to stay there no matter how much money they get, no matter how much fame they get, no matter how much success they get, no matter how many opportunities they get to leave, they stay there because they don't want to change their environment because those people don't want to give themselves a chance to find peace. You're not obligated to any environment. Man, let me tell you something. Anytime you hear somebody say, I owe the hood, man, you don't owe the hood nothing. Every damn thing that's wrong with you as a human being, you got from the hood. Everything that's wrong with you as a human being was developed in that environment. The fact that you made it out of that environment and you dedicate making it out of that environment to that environment as opposed to dedicating to God for moving in your life, getting you out of there, how are you going to dedicate your movement from an environment that was holding you back to that same environment that was holding you back? But when you hear things like that, you realize people don't understand the pursuit of peace. There's no way you can live in the hood. Man, listen, let me tell you something. All the time I spent in the hood, and I'm blessed enough to have lived outside of the hood before I was in the hood. So I saw about 11 or 12 years that weren't hood at all. Yeah, I came into contact with cats from the hood, but at 12, I was thrust knee deep into it. And I knew then how far behind the curve I was because, man, I had homies, man, who were 12, 13, man, they was already driving. They owned cars. We had a home in the hood, man. He was so short, man. He used to ride on phone books in his car. Be sitting all the way up to the edge of the seat on phone book, but he had his own whip. 13. Man, 13. I hadn't even been behind the wheel of a car, I don't think. Unless I was younger, sitting in my dad's lap. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, these kids, so I knew then that was a different environment, but I didn't know what it was. But as I got older, I realized that these kids never had an opportunity to be kids. You know how deprived you are if you never had an opportunity to be a child? If you hit the ground running, providing for yourself, listen, you know how long a kid been hustling if he already got a car at 13? You know how long a kid been hustling? I got partners, man, that started moving work when they were 10, 11. So you got to keep in mind that you have to be willing to change your environment. I'm talking about not change your environment because you get ran out of your environment. I'm talking about change your environment because you realize how negative it is. You have to understand what's negative in your life. If you don't understand what the negativity is, you sure can't find the peace. If you're in a negative environment and you think it's peace, why you think the peace is negative? That's why you're called a sellout if you move out of that environment. Okay, that's why you never go back. If you move out, they call you a sellout. Okay, cool. I'm a sellout. I'm gonna sell out. I'm gonna go right over there. I ain't come back no more. No need for me to come where you guys have declared me enemy. Enemy number one. Grew up around here. Came up with some of you guys. Helped some of you guys get money. And now I'm sell out because I'm gone. Okay, fine. I promise you'll need me before I need you again. Another thing, with that environment, you have to learn to turn your back on people. Here's the thing about turning your back on people. You're not turning your back on people. You're turning your face towards your future. So when somebody say, man, you're just going to leave us behind, man, blah, blah. I ain't leaving you behind. I'm going the way I'm supposed to be. I ain't leaving you. I'm going there. What I'm going to do? I'm going to stay here with you and let it leave me. That's my opportunity. I can't let my opportunity leave me because you don't want me to leave you. Hey, man, opportunity, knock it. I'm finna go to the door. No, answer the door, bro. Stay here with us, man. Don't answer that door for opportunity, man. Bro, opportunity at the door. I'm gone. Your pursuit of peace is not in the environment you're in. If that's the case, you have peace in that environment. Whether you married, whether you live with your family, whether you at the wrong school, whether you at the wrong job, whether you at the wrong church, whatever it is you're doing in your life, if you're not getting peace where you are, that's because there is no peace there for you. Now, that may be somebody else's peace. All of us aren't going to find peace in the same place. That may be somebody else's peaceful zone. But if you ain't finding no peace, it ain't yours. And people stay in that environment and keep trying to make adjustments to themselves. Oh, well, it could be me. Maybe it's me. I ain't the best person. I've done some dirt in my life. And that's how they'll keep you tied into a place. You ain't perfect. He who went without sin, let him cast the first stone. There you go. There go my stone. You have to understand that family is family by blood. But that does not mean they are meant to travel your journey in life. Yes, you were born into a family, but you are an individual who must blaze your own path. There is a path for your life, and you got to follow that path. And you got to be honest with yourself about how negative those people are. Friends are even worse. Friends think that if you don't take them with you, it's because you wasn't a good friend. Hey, bro, it ain't my job to carry you with me. Now, if you could find something to do to benefit the process, come on. But as far as me carrying you, come on, bro, jump on. I'll tote you. No. That's another way to deprive yourself of peace, because you're not going to have any peace when you know you're carrying dead weight. The most unpeaceful state for a man in business is to be carrying dead weight, to be doing all the work and somebody else reaping the benefits for work they're not doing. That's the whole thing with me about a job. Now, if I had to work a job, I would do that. You got to do what you got to do, man. Take care of your seeds. You got to do what you got to do. Take care of yourself. You got to do what you got to do to live the lifestyle you want to live. But here's the thing. The goal is to move yourself out of that environment, because it's not because it makes you less of a man or it makes you bad or jobs are bad or anything. It's because you're doing the lion's share of work for the money that's created from your work. So if what you're doing creates 500 bands and they give you 50 bands a year, you think you're doing good by comparison to minimum wage. We got to stop comparing ourselves to the bottom. That's another way to deprive yourself of finding peace, because when you compare yourself to the worst possible scenario, anything is much better. Almost anything you compare to minimum wage is better. You got people, man, that's living off $12 an hour, man. Trying to take care of family off $12 an hour. They got a career. They got car notes. They got children. They got all these things trying to take care of, man, off $12 an hour, man. $12 an hour. So if you're making $15 an hour, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm doing good. Guess what? $15 an hour. You still struggling when you got responsibilities like that. You can't find peace of mind when you got financial struggles. There is no peace of mind in financial struggles. Now, peace of mind will allow you to grasp your financial struggle and it won't be struggle. Because here's the thing. You are downsized to where you need to downsize to. You're downgraded to where you need to downgrade to, man. Let me tell you something, brother. I used to be draped up and dripped out when I was 20, 21. Every day, draped up, dripped out. I'm talking about walking up in the jewelry store, buying a piece of jewelry, man, just because I ain't had nothing else to do that day. It's a drought. I'm out there spending money. I'm gone, buying stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just in the store, man, just trying on reptile shoes, man. I'm pretty much just modeling in the mirror, man, just checking myself out, man, because I ain't got nothing better to do. Blowing bags. You know what I'm saying? But for me, the only reason I did that is because there was not much else I could do with the money. The money was not legal. There's just not much else I could do with it. All you can do is blow it. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can do is blow it and maybe try to wash it, but who you gonna trust to really wash it? If they wash it, they get jammed up, they talking. Because you got to have a legit businessman to wash it if you want to wash it the right way. So all you can do is blow it, but making legit money, man, I'm not finna blow no money on no stupid shit like that, man. I'm not gonna do that. And it ain't gonna work for me. Because I already know it's only worth nothing. It's only worth the image that you can put off with it. And if you are focused on an image that you have towards society, or how society views you, what you look like to abroad, or what you look like to these guys, or any of that, man, if you focus on that, man, you ain't gonna find no peace of mind, because that's a never-ending climb into futility. You're always gonna be trying to look like, because somebody gonna have a bigger watch than you, somebody gonna have a bigger chain than you, somebody gonna have a nicer whip than you, somebody gonna have a nicer crib than you, somebody gonna have all of that. And if that's your game, you're never going to find peace of mind, because every time you level off, it's going to be something new to get. And enemies are the absolute biggest trap that everyone has. Your enemies don't exist. Most times they're just haters, man. They are just haters. They're just people who see it, don't like it, got some negative to say about it. If all somebody can do is talk, they're not an enemy. They're just a hater. They don't matter. But if you allow those haters to live in your mind as enemies, then you're worried about them. If you got enemies, I'm just going to be honest with you. If you got real enemies, you need to be concerned, because real enemies want to see you out of here, and they're willing to do what it takes to get you out of here. Your enemies are people that know you, either personally or very intimately. You know what I'm saying? If you got somebody, a government agency might be your enemy. They know you. No, hell, know you better than your mama do for real. But as far as people, individuals go, man, you ain't got no enemies. You got haters. You got people that want you to focus on them, so you can't focus on you. They know if they get you to focus on them, you're gonna slow down some. They feel like if you slow down some, they may be able to catch you. Or if not, they know how it is because those people that haters, man, they watch opportunities pass them by. And they know that if you let the opportunity to pass you by, it's not just gonna stay there and wait on you. Opportunity don't be like, hey, you ready? No, I ain't ready yet. Opportunity stay right there. All right, man, I'm just chilling. Opportunity next year. Hey, man, you ready now? No, man, give me one more year. Okay, man, I'm gonna give you one more year, man. I'm gonna go over here and chill with these chicks over here, man. We gonna hang out. Hey, you ready now? Hey, bro, I ain't lying, man. Give me 2 more months, man, and I'm gonna be ready. All right, dog, this just 2 more months, man. Opportunity don't do that. They know that. And so they know if they can slow you down, they can stop you from pursuing your opportunities. So you'll be just like them. Wondering, what if? What if? What if I had not worried about the people? What if I had been willing to change my environment? What if I had been willing to change the influences that I allow to have an effect on me? You know how many people are influenced by social media, man? There is no way you can be influenced by social media and find peace of mind. Ain't no peace of mind in social media. Ain't no peace on social media. You can't find no peace, man, if you live in that social media life. When you in your feelings, you are outside of your brain. Because ain't no feelings in your brain, home. Ain't no feelings in your soul. People say, I feel it in my soul. No, you don't. You either see it, hear it in your soul. You don't feel it in your soul. Stop lying. If you're doing anything in your life that can't ever bring you peace, then you're a fool. You're being a fool. You're treating yourself like you don't love yourself. Peace is hard to come by, man, if you're not pursuing it. Peace don't just knock on your door. You got to pursue peace. You got to build an environment of peace of mind around yourself. And a lot of men can't do that, man, because in the environment of peace of mind, and a whole bunch of women chasing in that, man. Men have to stop shunning righteousness. You have to stop acting like being righteous is a bad thing. You have to stop acting like righteousness doesn't exist. So there's no need to try to be good. There's no need to try to be right. There's no need to try to live by any statute or code or use any type of guide for your moral conduct. No, don't worry about it. You just gotta do what you gotta do in this world. Don't worry about trying to be good or be fair with people. Don't worry about that. No one else is fair. Don't you be fair. Don't worry about that. Man, you can't worry about that because you ain't gonna get no peace in that. There ain't no peace in always getting over on people because you got to worry about people always getting over on you. You don't have to be a crook to not have people get over on you. You just have to be a man who stands firm on what you will and won't accept. That's another form of peace. I'm going to stand on what I will and won't accept. I'm not going to accept that, so whatever. Put God first in all you do, and you have to put yourself second. God, then you. However you want to line it up after that is on you. Don't matter to me. Do whatever you want to do. But put God, then you. That's it. Proper order. Nobody can ever come between you and the Most High. You can't let that happen. The moment you let that happen, your opportunity to pursue peace is gone. You don't even remember what peace feels like. That's how you make yourself responsible for your joy. You got to be responsible for eliminating the things that you know rob you of your joy. Because without joy, there is no peace. You have to live a life of joy. Living a life of joy is peace. Living a life of joy gives you an environment of peace. That's all this is about, homies. Living a life of joy creates an environment of peace. So you got to make sure you protect that peace. You got to make sure you protect that joy. You got to make sure that you put all those things on the forefront of the things that are valuable to you. And you have to fight every day to protect them. You're not fighting to keep your joy. You're fighting to defend it. You're not fighting to keep your peace of mind. You're fighting to defend it. You're not fighting to defend your alpha energy. You're not fighting to keep your alpha energy. You're fighting to defend it. And it all starts with forgiveness of yourself, of those who have crossed you, of those who will cross you. You got to pre-forgive people. You got to already have a mind of forgiveness. So if somebody crosses you, they're just being an evil person. You can't hold a grudge against someone for being wicked. You have to look at yourself and say, why couldn't I tell that person was wicked? When you surround yourself in a peace of mind state, in a peaceful environment, and your life is filled with joy, negative energy sticks out like a sore thumb. You can see it from a mile away. But the more you surround yourself with negative energy, the less likely you are to be able to decipher that negative energy because it's just piled in with the rest. And you don't know it's negative until it gets too close. When you let that negative energy carrying person get too close, That's when you realize it. That's why you got to keep that environment of peace. You got to keep that environment of joy. You got to keep that environment of righteousness. You got to keep that environment of godliness around you. And that's how you keep those people who are going to bring you negative energy.